already, the idea of the competition was floated by the TRA, by us, as part of the planning process. So it came from the bottom and worked its way up, and here we are. We had 5 motivations for our activities. We've been through the process before, the result of the opening development, and we were a bit concerned about how abruptly their new meets hold in terms of the public realm. We also lost some trees, which didn't make us very happy. Recently, we've been granted conservation status again due to the action of the residents. The appraisal on our website and the AS website outlines in that the public realm is the least notable part of the estate, so we saw this as a valuable kind of opportunity to work with that. We believe the Pullens is exemplary in terms of its design. It's everything about it, from its mix of uses, its living, its working. We really wanted to show it to you, and that's why we have those funny little numbers, because we want to split you into tours at the end of this. It's essential that you stay if you can, because you'll have an opportunity to get inside a flat, a couple of workshops, the roofs, the TRAs, the spaces inside those buildings. I've got the most wonderful kind of atmosphere, and we really wanted to share it with you. So we hope that you'll stay. If you can, the other side of your little ticket shows the dates for the open studios, and that's when many more studios will be open in December. We really hope you come back. We also have political motivations. We sit at the edge of the Elphick Castle master plan. We've got 10 floors in the opening development, 10 in first base, 43 in the Richard Rogers one just at the edge of the park, 43, 44 in the Hamilton building on the edge of the Elphick Castle master plan. Things are changing. We're not against change. We're absolutely up for that, but we think as a result of that, there is a real opportunity to try and knit old and new together, so it's not quite so abrupt. We want holistic ideas, a strategy for change, and we want to play a proactive role in the process. So then there's also the historical context that Simon talked about, and then the residents in these buildings. And again, I hope you begin to see from some of the historical photographs just what a key part of the residents in these blocks have had since they were built. We've got one resident who's 97, she's lived here all her life. We've got Simon, who was one of the residents at 86, who literally spent the night in jail trying to make sure that the Southwark Council didn't knock down the blocks. Out of 500 that we originally had, we still have 366. And that's all because of the direct involvement of the residents wanting to keep this place going. There's other things that we do. We'll not see it tonight, but in Crampton Street we have a food cooperative again, set up and run by the local residents. It's a whole food cooperative. At the back we've got an info bookshop, which is a sort of whole accumulation of information, basically based around kind of, it's a sort of anarchist bookshop, and sort of, I don't know, you can read it on the website. They're all the residents do. The TRA building, which is a tiny little building that we're allowed to have by Southwark, and the arts, which are the very special parts of the development, are used for many things, and increasingly so. We have events, we have cinema screenings, we were part of the London Design Festival, we showed films as part of Elfest. We have an annual art show now where we have arts from the residents and the kids in the school, and we open up for a couple of days alongside the open studios. We have public meetings there, of course. And in the TRA tonight, you'll see a film that somebody came up with today, which is The Beggar's Opera, which was performed 20 years ago in the TRA. And now also, just for the last month, we have the Electric Elephant coffee shop. And I think one of the reasons why that's very interesting to me is also you can begin to see, in some of the historical photographs how those shop units were integral to the estate. So we've now got one of the shop units, which is designed and used as a shop. And I think that brings a great kind of sort of sense of vibrancy and focus for the community in terms of the people who live here and the people who work here. It's great in terms of organising this competition. We've now got somewhere to meet. So all these things are used by the wider community, but they are the results absolutely of the ideas and energy of the residents who live and work here. I think the competition is another example of that. Okay, so 3 things we imagine could result from the competition. I'm not going to be very specific here, just because that's why you're here. You're the ones who are going to be specific and come up with the ideas. But what we would like to see is some politically provocative ideas that demonstrate how the public realm could be used more safely and for the pleasure of all inhabitants, new and old, working, living and visiting. i.e. what should it be like? Yes, it's particularly congested, especially Amelia Street and Penton Place, and it's going to be more so in the future. So we now have those, we're going to have 2 big blocks, and there's notions of the police station and other bits of that street be redeveloped sometimes. So, you know, the idea of these quite massive communities all feeding out into Amelia Street. And so we have these 2 principal routes through the estate. One is Amelia Street, that are shared by cars and people, delivery and utility vehicles, the police and construction vehicles. That, and also Penton Place, which is the other main sort of third estate, they are a mix of traffic and people, and especially think about Penton Place. You know, the kids going to school every morning, that's really quite a big issue on Penton Place, the way it's sort of congested and you can't see to cross the road with your kids. So there's some real kind of nitty-gritty sort of, congestion issues that I think you can kind of see. So what we'd like to see is ideas that express hierarchy of use, you know, to start to separate the bins, the bikes, the pram, the people, the builders' waste, all those sorts of things. And even look towards those pinch gates, the yellow things that they've put in at the end of both the streets. Taking that towards what Todd said, make things, you know, make them into bicycle racks. I don't know, do something about those, please. But we'd also like ideas that help to improve the experience of the public realm. So that's not just sorting stuff. Of course, everybody wants more green. It's a sort of prerequisite today. The point is that at the moment, in terms of the public realm, all the 5 streets look the same, but they're used in very different ways. And we did some very simple movies that we put on www.ameliastreet.com to try and start to communicate this to you, because unless you spend some days in the streets, it's really difficult to see that Crampton Street is a school street, Amelia Street is a thoroughfare. You know, Crampton Street is used by lots of cyclists from parallel to the Warwood Road. So actually each of the streets, even though they look the same, is very different characters, and we really hope that your design, so the things, the instances that you do into the public realm, will start to draw on the characters of those streets and make them a bit kind of more specific. So we do really want specific and poetic responses that identify and highlight the underused resources we already have on the estate, and also to bring some attention to bring to our attention some new ones. So the really easy ones are the park and how, you know, it's really that, you know, the fence and the planting create a real boundary, so people don't really use the park because they've got to get over the boundary. It doesn't feel particularly safe in there, whatever. The school corner, any morning you'll see lots of others standing and chatting there. Is there potential there? Our bike lock is really great. Sarah in the corner, you know, spent a lot of time getting bike lockers. When you see the flats are really tiny and lots of people cycle here, so the bike lockers are really great. So it means you don't have to carry your bike up 3 stories and put it in your flat. But you know, they're kind of just parks where we had space. How do we make that better? There's a great space outside of 56A, very generous. You know, is there any ideas for that? Street lighting under the arch, of course. Some sort of sense of entrance and identity for the estate. Our part of the process, apart from being just gently very calming. But anyway, so we've set up a website. We wanted this to act as a resource for you, and we're really hoping it'll continue to grow. I've got a whole box of stuff upstairs I'm going to scan and put on the website over the weekend mainly about heritage and stuff. We're actively documenting the process. We're filming it. We want to continue to involve as many local residents as possible. We'll have the opportunity, we as the residents will have the opportunity to comment on the 5 shortlisted entries. It's planned that these will be exhibited in the TRA, and of course everyone's welcome to come, and that'll be the end of January. So from humble beginnings, we're determined to do all we can to support the competition and also be a complete pain in the ass during the procurement process to make sure this thing gets built. So we want to thank you for coming to visit us, and we really, really look forward to receiving your observations and thoughts on the Pullens, how it is today, and your ideas for how our streets could be in the future.
Thank you.